Okay, good morning to everyone. Venerable monks, venerable nuns, and Dhamma friends. So we are going to start the Dhamma sermon. May you all give your consent by saying Sadhu Sadhu. Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Ya gannapanang dadati pamodita silogapanna sugatassa savita tadati danang abhiguya maccharam so abhikam so kanudam sukavaham piti. Venerable Bhantes, venerable nuns, Dhamma friends. So today is the Kathina ceremony day. So most of you are gathered here to offer various offerings to the Sangha and to get certain merit. And same thing has happened many time ago. Even during the Buddha's time, it has happened. So that's a beautiful story I thought of starting with. And this has happened while Buddha was alive. And it's a very interesting story. So probably you have heard about Visakha. May I know who is Visakha? That she is the utmost in the Buddha's dispensation in the lay devotees, the female devotees among them. She becomes the kind of most generous lay devotee, female lay devotee. And one occasion, actually, Buddha spent Vassa in Benares, and now he arrived Savatthi. And at that time, during that night, actually, it was a really heavy rain. And anyway, Visakha managed to come to meet the Buddha and then invite him and the Sangha to the arms. You know that Visakha is a really generous person. And so she invited Buddha and the Sangha to alms round. And so Buddha accepted her invitation. And then she went back. Again, the next day, it's a heavy rain. It's a really heavy rain. And at that time, so Buddha was sort of reflecting about this particular rain, and he found it's a very unrare type of rain. It's a kind of continental rain. All different continents are being poured by the rain. So he suggested to the monks, okay, monks, this is a special type of rain. It's very rarely happens. So why don't you also have a bath in the outside? So they all went out and had a bath. You know that during that time, there was no kind of a rain's cloth given to the monks. So they have actually a bath naked. By the way, so Visakha was getting ready for her alms, and now she is sending a messenger to the Buddha and the Sangha. Okay, invite the Sangha, now alms being ready. Please invite the Sangha to my house. That particular servant has seen that monks were not there. So she was assuming that these may be the naked ascetics. You know that during the Buddha's time, different kind of religious groups were there. And because they are kind of someone called Achelakas, they are the naked ascetics. And she misunderstood that these are also naked ascetics, so she didn't understand they are monks. So she went back and reported to the Buddha, to Visakha, I couldn't find any monks at the Savatthi, at the Anathapindika's grove. By the way, Visakha was a really intelligent woman, so she understood, okay, there is something going on. There are many monks staying at the monastery, and Buddha himself has accepted my invitation. So she might have mistaken. So again, she sent back the servant, okay, don't worry, please invite again, go back again and invite the Sangha. While she is arriving, still monks are not there. Because now Buddha invited all the monks, okay, now you dry up yourself and prepare your clothes and wear the proper clothes. So they were all inside. And still she couldn't find the monks. Again, she went back and reported to Visakha. Again, she was thinking, okay, this should be the thing, it may be happening. As I mentioned, she's a really intelligent woman. So again, she is sending back the messenger. By that time, anyway, Buddha is ready. monks are also ready. And it's really flooded. The whole area was really flooded. And Buddha thought of rather than going by walking, so I better go by psychic powers. It's a very interesting phenomena. So now the monks and the Buddha now arrived at Visakha's place through psychic powers, and everybody was really beautifully, and they are there. And Visakha was really surprised to see that sight. And she's exclaimed, "Wonderful, good sirs, marvelous." So she's really happy to see that the Buddha and the Sangha have come to the place without any trouble. If the area was flooded, it's really difficult and it may be muddy and it's getting wet. So she was a little troublesome, but now she found everybody is there, Buddha and the Sangha, even their robes were not getting wet. She was really happy. She was uplifted. And then Buddha gave a Dhamma sermon and then accepted the honor. And after that, now everything is smooth and everything is happening really well. And now the dana is over. Now Visakha came to the Buddha and now she is asking something different. Attaham bhante bhagavantam varani yachamiti. Dear Venerable Bhante, now I am asking you 8 boons. Attavara, 8 boons I am asking. And then Buddha said, Visakha, I don't have such a custom to give any kind of boon to any person. I am not typically giving any boons to any person. So for what purpose we are asking this kind of 8 boons? So what are your 8 boons, by the way? Now, once this question was asked, now Visakha was briefly mentioning what are the 8 boons. So she is telling, rains cloth for all the monks. Then next one, put for monks who are arriving Savatthi. Put for monks who are leaving Savatthi. And put for the sick people, sick monks. And then put for monks who are attending the sick people. And then medicine for sick people. And again, regularly giving rice porridge to the monks. And then rains cloth, bathing cloth for nuns. So these are the 8 boons now she is asking. Now Buddha wants to make a further clarification. Now Buddha is saying, okay, so this is something that you're asking. So just give more explanation. Why you are asking? For what reason that you are asking these 8 clothes? I need more explanation. Now she is going to explain. Bhante, this incident has happened. When my servant was coming to invite Sangha and Buddha for alms, and the monks were bathing naked, I understood that. It is not nice. So people might have misunderstand. Kind of these monks are also appearing or behaving like naked ascetics. It's not a nice thing. It's not a polite thing. So therefore, I would like to invite or ask for a boon so that I can anytime offer rain's cloth for the monks. So this I am asking this particular first boon. Okay. So what is next? Then put for the arriving monks. You know that during those days we didn't have Google Maps. So the monks have to come to the Savatthi by walking, and they don't know the proper paths. So nowadays we have all the electronics items to find the proper paths, and so sometimes they go on different routes. They can't arrive with the arms round on time, and they don't know where to go on arms round, what areas to go on arms round. They are still new to the area. So therefore, whenever new monks are arriving Savatthi, so please ask them to come to my house. My house is continuously every day offering dana. So I am asking this boon also from you. So for all the arriving monks, if they feel difficult for them to go for alms round, so my house is open. Please ask them to come to my house for all the arriving monks. So this is the second boon. Now she is asking. Very reasonable. And then the third one. Bhante, when certain monks are leaving Savatthi, if they go on alms round and have lunch and then go for wherever the destination, they get late. And sometimes there are certain accompanying people, and they also get trouble because monks still getting late. And sometimes they might have arranged a caravan to go with, but they might leave and still these monks are going on arms round. So therefore, if anyone is leaving Savatthi, so even for those monks, please ask them to come to my house. So they don't want to wander, they don't want to go on the arms round, they can simply come to my house, arms is ready. So that is the third boon. Very, very interesting. You can see how intelligent she is, how considerate she is. And then the fourth one, the sick monks. Sick monks are unable to go on arms round. If they are going on arms round, being sick, so sometimes it's difficult to get the proper meal, and sometimes the meal is also not suitable for their particular health condition. So therefore, they are in trouble. While being sick, going for arms round is a difficult thing. So all the sick monks, so if they feel they are unable, not fitting to go on arms round, please ask them to come to my house. So my house is open, my house is ready to give alms for any sick monk. So this is the fourth rule now Visakha is asking. Now then, there are certain attending monks. You know that certain monks are going through certain sickness, but there are other monastics who have to look after them. So that's the tradition. There are attending monks. So the attending monks, if they are going for alms round, that's also difficult for them. Sometimes they are going alms round on behalf of the sick monk. They may be in search of a particular kind of suitable food. And on the other hand, if they have attended the sick monk and then after that they are going for alms round, they also get late. They lose the time once they are arrived. So therefore, Bhante, the monks who are attending the sick monks, please ask them also to come to my house. All the monks who are attending, for them also, my house is open. Arms are ready, even for these attending monks. That's the uh, fifth boon she is asking. Then sixth one, medicine for sick. Now, previously she was asking about the food for sick, but now she is telling, okay, I am ready to give medicine for sick. Sick monks are there, sick nuns are there. So I am ready to give medicine for sick nuns, monastics at any time. So please accept this request, this mutation. This is my sixth boon. And again, Bhante, this offering rice porridge to monastics is a ritual, is a tradition. So I like to do it frequently every day. So that is the next boon that I am asking from you. Then the eighth one, that's also quite interesting. In one occasion, I found that the nuns, nuns have gone to a particular common area, common place to have a bath. While they are having a bath, they also bathing naked with other women. And other women started ridicule them, tease them. So why you are here? Why you get quickly become nuns? You better spend lay life for some time, and once you become old, you can be a nun. So why are you even this young age? You became nuns. So I was telling many different things. The other women started teasing the nuns. So I don't want that to happen. So therefore, Bante, so please accept my last boon that I like to offer bathing clothes for nuns every day at any time. So this is a quite reasonable and very intelligent and very generous kind of request that this Visakha is making. And after Buddha offering that, now Buddha is asking any other benefits? Any other benefits that you are looking after, looking forward? And now comes the really the interesting one. Now she is telling like this. Bante, now there are many monks scattered all around Savatthi, and even some monks are far away places. And certain monks, after the rain retreat, they come to see you and they inform you, Bhante, there's a particular monk in particular area. He passed away. And where is his destination? Was he a attained person or what's his next life? So they come and ask from you. And sometimes you give him a kind of an answer. Yes, he's a really intelligent person. He's a ardent practitioner. And he was a an arahant. Maybe sometimes you might say, okay, he's a non-returner. He was able to abandon 5 fetters, and he's a non-returner, anagami. And sometimes you would say he's a sakadagami. And sometimes you would say he was a stream winner. So likewise, many monks are approaching you and asking what is the next life, what's the destination of those passed away monks. And I get this news. And once I get this news, I approach the other monks, whoever the messengers, and I ask from them, Bhante, have those monks ever visited Savatthi? Can you imagine why she is asking like that? So whoever the messaging monks, now Visakha is going and asking from them, Bhante, have those passed away monks ever visited Savatthi? And then sometimes these monks might reply, yes, yes, on one occasion they came to Savatthi. And then one day I was really rejoiced because somehow I was able to either give him when they are arriving the Savatthi, I may be able to offer something. Either when they are leaving, I may be able to offer them some food. You can remember the boons, right? So for all arriving monks, now she is arranging the food. So if someone has already arrived, probably I definitely have given them food because they are newcomers to the Savatthi. On the other hand, when they are leaving, probably I might have given them alms. On the other hand, probably I might have given them the robes, the rains robes. Because if they have spent Vassa in Savatthi, probably I might have given them the rains robe. That's another thing. And on the other hand, sometimes if they were sick while in the Savatthi, probably I might have given the food for the sick monk. Or else there may be attending monks to that particular monk, or he may be attending to another sick monk. Even that time, I might have given him the food. And sometimes, since I am regularly giving medicine for sick monks, if in case he got sick while he was in Savatthi, I might have given him medicine, or else the rice porridge. So these are the reasons now I feel understand. Okay, somehow, either by giving robes, either by giving medicine, either by giving food, I might be able to help this particular monk. When one day I am thinking like this, I got really happy. My mind gets really rejoiced. Yahang upasamik samkamikka puchissam agata rubbha tena pipuna savatti. Mittametta ganissam nissassayan me paributtan tena ayena vassika satikava agantuka bhattanva gamika bhattanva vilana bhattanva Vilanupathaka Bhattangva, Vilana Besajjanva, Vivagu Yavati. So basically, she is now telling, Bhante, when I get to know somehow I was able to help this particular monk who now has passed away, but while he was in Savatthi, I was really instrumental, either giving him food, either giving him some kind of a medicine, either I am giving him some kind of a bathing cloth. Somehow I was helping him. So when I understand that, when I realized that, I was really rejoiced. I got really happy. And interesting thing is, Tassanume Tadanusaritya, I become delighted. I feel delighted by hearing that. And when Amuditaya Pitijayasri, so when Amudita, the delight is there, the rapture is arising within me. Pitimanaya Kayo Pasambati. So when the rapture is available, my body become more tranquil, more lighter. No friction, no tension. Instead, the body become more lighter. And Pasaddakaya Sukham Nedisa. So when body feel lighter, tranquil, I feel happy. I feel more comfortable. Sukhiniya Chittan Samadhi Isati. So when body and mind feel comfortable, happy, my mind easily get concentrated, easily become more tranquil. Same Bhavisati Indriya Bhavana, Bala Bhavana, Bujjanga Bhavana. Now it is quite easy for me to practice the faculties, to develop the faculties, develop the spiritual powers, and to develop the seven enlightenment factors. Now, this is the most critical part. So she is not merely generous. You can see she's not merely generous. she has taken it to another level. So we can see in this spiritual story, so what are the different social aspects in a way? So one thing is kind of a very interested relationship between the monastics and the lay community. You can see the monastics are totally dependent on the lay community for their material requisites. So it's a kind of a relationship, it's kind of a dependency. So Buddha actually instructed the monastics. So you all have to often reflect Parapatibaddhani Jivikani. So it's not an independent life in a way. Rather, we totally dependent on the lay people for our material requisites. So kind of a relationship with this building up. On the other hand, monks are supposed to give the lay people certain instructions and arouse the faith and arouse certain kind of wisdom, propagate Dhamma and properly teach the Dhamma. So that's another spiritual benefit that the monks are supposed to give back to the lay people. So it's a kind of mutual dependencies there between the monastics and the lay people. So Buddha wants to encourage that. Now Visakha is promoting that also. Now Visakha is taking the upper hand in giving this either the ponage, either the medicine, either the food, either the rainfall, everything from the lay people that kind of a duty. Now she's trying to pioneer it and to accomplish that. And next is she's again kind of a she felt kind of a empathy towards what has happened. Take example, when those monks were bathing naked, so she feel a little embarrassed and it's not nice. So these masters should be further sort of respected. So they should be distinguished among the naked ascetics. So therefore, so in a way, kind of a social upliftment is there, and whoever is respectable and she doesn't want to get ridiculed. Instead, she wants to put them in the proper place. Respectable people, respectable monks has to be in the respectable place. So she's making kind of facilities to accomplish that. Then the other hand, now she is making kind of women leadership in her. So you can see it is not every time another Indika or any other king has taken the upper hand. Even now we can see here, Visakha is the one asking the boons, the request from the Buddha, and she's the one initiating this whole process. So it's the kind of women's leadership. Today we are talking about it, but even during the Buddha's time, these very intelligent, well-to-do people have used that opportunity to uplift the monastic condition. And then on the other hand, the kind of the social harmony. Now you can see if sick monks got troubled when they are going to alms round, if they didn't get proper medicine or if they didn't get the proper suitable food, they are in trouble. Kind of the social welfare is kind of troubled, disturbed. So she's looking after that. She want to amend that. So you want to make sure that everything is happening smoothly. If someone is getting sick, okay, that particular monastic being properly looked after. So she wants to interfere in that and participate in that. So that is one aspect. On the other hand, now when nuns being ridiculed at a bathing place, it's not nice. Now she want to protect the nuns in a way. So she's thinking like that. So how cleverly, so this particular little incident, she's using to help the nuns. You can see how intelligent, how clever she is. It's not mere compassion, but she has taken it to an action. And then the other thing is, if someone is going on a long trip, if he or she can't find food, that's also not nice. So if they are coming to a particular monastery, they are the newcomers and they are strangers, the guests. And so it's a kind of a hospitality, how she is showing. So you know the hospitality. So whenever a new person is coming, so the residents are showing their hospitality. Now Visakha is trying to do that. So these are different aspects actually we can learn from particular this incident, how beautifully she has managed this situation, helping the monks, helping the monastics, at the same time building a very good relationship between the people and the monastics. The last one is the most important thing. How all these materialistic transactions she's using for spiritual growth. That is what actually I like to further highlight. So here in Bhavana society, as Pandit, she is often sort of emphasize. So we have to target the development of spiritual qualities. Now you can see how even the dana, even these generous qualities, how Visakha is trying to use for her meditation. It is not that you come here today and offer dana and then forget it. Rather, once you go back, so how much you have contributed, how much you have spent some time, how much you planned, and how generously you have offered dana. All that you can little think about it, and then you feel so happy. Okay, I was able to do that. I was so instrumental in arranging it. So I have spent my own money, my time. I have spent my, say, I really have involved. I honestly have done something. So you feel happy. It's not merely stopping there. So you feel little happy, little joy is there, what we call as the pamunja. Little delight is there. And that delight makes your body tranquil. So sometimes we are planning to develop samadhi. You might have heard about the term samadhi. So one translation is concentration. Not a really accurate translation, but we can say at the beginning, it's a kind of a concentration. So typically our minds are scattered. So basically we need to calm down the mind. The restless mind has to be calmed down and the scattered mind has to be well focused. This is one stage of our samadhi development. But by mere thinking, but by mere determination, mere willpower is not enough to do that. So basically, in order for the tranquility to happen, certain kind of inner joy is a must. So these are something that we need to understand. So what are the kind of prerequisites to develop samadhi? It is not that by mere willpower we can make the mind concentrate. Not by utter determination we can make the mind concentrate. Rather, we need certain qualities. So, okay, you have a kind of positive atmosphere within yourself. You feel I am a good person. I have offered dana. I have offered certain requisite. I have helped in particular manner. So when you become a good person, so it gives a kind of a discerning quality in your side. I'm a good person. I was in a different side, but now I am practicing my moral conduct and I am attending the dana, I am helping the monastics, wherever good thing I am there, I have helped that. So I am really doing a good job. So that makes you that internally you feel confident. Internally you feel okay, I deserve something more. My mind is uplifted. So that joyful atmosphere is one very important factor for development of the samadhi. So, so first the pamunja, the delight, kind of a little happiness, and then it is slowly growing to the rupture, and rupture is causing to have the body tranquil. So now typically what happens when we are meditating is sometimes we get aches and pains and many troubles are there. But when you feel uplifted, your mind is kind of happy, you're in a joyful mood, you forget about these aches and pains. So slowly, these aches and pains disappear and mind become also more tranquil. And actually the body become more tranquil, more at ease, and more lighter. And then mind become more joyful and so on. So therefore, this samadhi is something, the quality of concentration is something we all may be looking after, looking forward, but sometimes we don't know what are the prerequisites, what are the supporting factors we need to develop samadhi. So Visakha is really intelligent. You can see all these meritorious deeds, she's not doing just for sake of doing it. Rather, she is doing it for her own inner spiritual joy, inner own spiritual upliftment, spiritual development. And probably you have heard about the spiritual faculties. Now she is telling. So when Sami Bhavisati Indriya Bhavana. Now this is a very interesting term, Indriya Bhavana. So there are 5 faculties that we are talking in Dhamma. Probably you might have heard. Saddha, the faith, Virya, the effort, then Sati, the mindfulness, Samadhi, concentration, and then Panya, the wisdom. So these 5 qualities are called the spiritual faculties. Actually, all these different efforts that we are trying, meditation, in a way we can say, is based on developing these spiritual faculties. Actually, probably you might have heard about the 37 Bodhipakkya Dhammas, right? 37 Bodhipakkya Dhammas. Starting with the four foundations of mindfulness. Kanupassana, Vedananupassana, Chittanupassana, Dhammanupassana. Four foundations of mindfulness. That may be the entry point. Say how you become mindful about walking, how you are mindful while eating, how you are mindful while talking, how you are mindful while breathing, maybe about rising and falling. So many different techniques are there to establish mindfulness using the body. So that may be our starting point. How to become mindful, because otherwise what happens? Mind become restless. If on the inner chatter is continuously going on, we are thinking too much about the past, regretting about what has happened in the past, or maybe too much planning about the future. So there is no rest to the mind. So all over, everywhere, mind is fairly scattered. Such a mind is not suitable for the development of the vipassana. So we need a fairly concentrated, calm, tranquil mind. So this tranquility is very, very important thing, but immediately we can't come to that unless we develop the mindfulness. So sati, the mindfulness is one key factor we need to start with. So you start with the body, you develop while you say you practice mindful walking, you practice mindful breathing, maybe different daily activities you are trying to establish mindfulness. So likewise, so you are developing mindfulness now slowly, you can see, okay, less inner chatter, less wandering thoughts, and mind become a little calm, little tranquil, and say my mind is not going on proliferation. You know, the obsessive thinking. If you have certain regrets, mind may be going on and on, kind of a rumination. So that has fairly stopped now. If you have too much planning, that is also troublesome. Okay, now that also has stopped. Fairly now mind is in the present moment. It has fairly now established mindfulness. And slowly then probably you can look for different feelings, Vedananupassana, and you can now, if the certain qualities are developed, you can look at the mind itself, Chittanupassana, and even refined states, you can go for Dhammanupassana. So the four foundations of mindfulness is, we can say, the ground where we can start with. And then certain efforts are there. Indriya is the faculties. Sati Indriya, Saddha Indriya, but then Virya Indriya, say Samadhi Indriya, Panya Indriya. So there's a slight difference. Now let's take one faculty for example, say Sati, the mindfulness. Now if you are a beginner, if you are start practicing mindfulness, so you can see mind often go to past, maybe often go to future, never stay in the present. So you feel like the present moment is quite boring, it is not exciting, it's quite difficult. But as you how I can maintain my mindfulness during 10 breaths, 10 consecutive breaths, 20 consecutive breaths, 30 consecutive breaths, 50 consecutive breaths. So likewise, you can see kind of quantitatively, there's an improvement, there's an development. But later you can see even it's broadening, not merely qualitative wise, but even quantitative wise, even qualitatively, now I can develop mindfulness, certain mindfulness is there. And many activities now I can do mindfully. Previously, I was quite unmindful. I forgot many things. But now everything is fairly streamlined. I'm doing really well. Everything is happening pretty smoothly. And now certain amount of mindfulness is available. Probably now it's a matter of enhancing that, developing that further. What are the activities I can't do mindfully yet? Say, for example, you are able to walk mindfully. You may be able to sit mindfully. You may be able to say brush your teeth mindfully, eat mindfully. But still, while talking, I am not mindful. Say while when I am attending a meeting, I am not mindful. So likewise, you may understand. Okay, still certain glitches are there in my practice. So what are the areas that I can feel mindfulness? Where I'm lacking. So those are the areas now you need to fill. Now slowly you are addressing those areas as well. Now you are fairly mindful. As much as possible, continuously mindful. So likewise, you can see mindfulness as a faculty is now it is growing. Another aspect of mindfulness is the what we call the memory. Say while you are developing mindfulness, you can see you are previously you often forget things. Say you get into a car, but you forgot the key. You get into the bus, you forgot the wallet. So many things have happened. But now I'm fairly maintaining from the beginning of the day, maintaining kind of unbroken kind of mind. I can remember what I have said long time ago. I remember what I did long time ago. Chira katampi, chira bhasitampi, sarita anusarita. So that's how Buddha encouraged. So as one is growing mindfulness, one important quality that you can see is now absent-mindedness or forgetfulness has reduced. Instead, I can remember everything. Very different activities I have done long time ago, I can remember it right now. Something like that. So different qualities with respect to mindfulness is now growing. So as you are growing further, so when you reach the faculty of mindfulness, so there are often times that you can see, okay, today everything happened really smoothly. I was really mindful. The presence of mind was every time. But yesterday it was not like that. So likewise, you can see the ups and downs of mindfulness. It is not a kind of a quality which is every time remaining in the mind 100%, but there are certain fluctuations are happening, but you can notice it. Sometimes it's fairly persistent, sometimes it's quite vibrant, but certain other times little weak. So as a spiritual quality, you can understand there is something called mindfulness. Previous I only heard about it. But now as a faculty, as a spiritual quality, it is available in my mind. That's how we need to understand. So we have heard about mindfulness, even now I am talking about it. But unless you develop it in your own mind, you can't really have a taste about it, right? So that's an important thing. So you have to develop it. You need to put yourself into the practice. You need to develop it. Then you can see, okay, previously I was behaving like this. I only heard about mindfulness, but now I know what is mindfulness. And in this particular activity also I am mindful. This particular activity also I am mindful. So likewise, you can actually talk confidently about your own developed mindfulness. And another interesting thing is there when it comes to the power of mindfulness. You know, sometimes when you reach power of mindfulness, the meaning is, say, because of our past habits, again mind go and wander. Maybe some past thinking or future daydreaming, fantasizing, that is going on. But if you are confident, if you have gone through fair amount of practice, you are unwavering. You don't feel really upset. You don't feel really kind of troubled because you know you can quickly take it back. Such kind of inner confidence is growing, showing when you reach what we call the sati bala, the power of mindfulness. So you can see some kind of a systematic development, gradual development. We start with very basic qualities, started with the same body-related mindfulness, establishment of mindfulness, reduced restlessness, you just find an anchor to the mind. So that may be the entry point. Then further develop maybe towards various postures, various little activities. You refine mindfulness using very subtle processes like breathing. And then you further taken it to the feelings. You can probably even look at the mind. So it's a kind of different levels that you are approaching through mindfulness. And as you are continuing, you have come to a level, okay, certain times still mind wander, but I am not that panic about it. I know how to tackle it. I know how to establish mindfulness very quickly. I'm confident about it. So that is what is called the sati bala. Pamade na kampatiti sati bala. So they emphasize, okay, even when mind ignorantly behave uninvited way, unsuitable way, but still I know how to handle it. I have confidence very quickly. I can handle it. I can put it back to the track. So that kind of a confidence is there when you are in the sati bala, the power of mindfulness level. An interesting thing is when you are coming to the now she's telling actually bala bhavana. So all this is a kind of a gradual development, how she's talking. She started with very basic things. She started being a generous woman, and that whatever generous activity that she has conducted, she thought about it, reflected about it, joy arise, and that joy being further used to further tranquilize the body, and now the body being tranquil, mind also become tranquil, samadhi is now available. So you can see how all these are fairly interconnected. So all these materialistic, generous activities, we can connect with our spiritual growth. So that is the important thing that we need to learn. It is not that you come today and give something to the monastic, offer something to the Bhavana society and then leave. Rather, you need to be skillful how to use that to develop my spiritual qualities. So that is the most critical thing. Otherwise, it's only a very minor thing. You came here, spent some time here, and had a chat with the other people, and then you went back. You just attended the Bhavana Society, West Virginia. That's it. But that is not the point. What is important is how all these generous activities you are using for the development of spiritual qualities. That we need to step into that. So Vishaka is giving a really great example in that. So that's why Buddha is appreciating that. So the last one that she's explaining is really, really beautiful to everyone. So how all these really beautiful qualities, good duties, what we are doing, how tactfully, properly, skillfully we are using for our own spiritual growth. And last one, say Bojjanga Bhavana. Now that's also another interesting area. You might have heard about the Bojjanga, enlightenment factors. Now, when one reaches the Bojjanga level, the enlightenment factor level, it is not a mere mindfulness. You are no more a beginner. You are kind of gone through a amount of practice. You know what is mindfulness. You have practiced that, and as a result of that, you have experienced certain kind of concentration also. Now, these are interconnected. Don't think that you are developing mindfulness alone. As you are developing mindfulness, certain effort necessary, certain energy is necessary. So, virya, energy or effort is also concurrently developing. Say today raining and you feel difficult, but still you are having some kind of encouragement. Okay, I somehow attend it. So it's kind of an energy, kind of an effort. Say while you are sitting, sometimes you feel lethargic, but you uplift yourself. So likewise, the effort faculty, and sometimes you fall sick, but you are not giving up. Once you're getting better, so you need to again restart the practice. So likewise, that encouragement, that the kind of effort is another faculty that we are taking in period as a faculty, the energy as a faculty. And as you are further moving, faith as a faculty. So because we can't find or we can't realize the total path immediately, because sometimes people are there, they are asking many, say, philosophical questions, fairly advanced questions, but still they haven't stepped into the Dhamma. We are trying to philosophize everything. We try to understand everything immediately and then get into the practice. That's also very difficult. Very much like, say, take a scenario like, say, you fall sick and someone is saying, okay, you better go to that particular doctor and he's really a regular person and you better go him and take the medicine and then you will get recovered. And you have to trust that, right? So whoever is giving you that instruction is telling you for your own benefit, I need to trust trust that person. And then I have to go to that particular doctor and I have to trust that doctor as well. So if I am going to ask from you, do you have MBBS and how long have you been in this proper profession and how many say patients that you have attended and what do you have masters, do you have PhD and what are the exams that you have passed to? Can I see your all certificates? Too much, right? So we need to be more practical. So basically that is the faith which is working here. So we have to have certain trust. But the interesting thing in the Buddha's teaching is it is not a blind trust. It's not a blind faith. At first, we need to have a trust. Okay, Buddha is the fully enlightened person. his teaching is so profound, and Sangha is practicing wholeheartedly. They also have attained Dhamma as according to the Buddha's teaching. And I'm trusting that. I have some faith in that. And myself, I myself is now put myself into the practice. Now, as I'm growing, slowly, all doubtful areas slowly become clear. It is not immediately I become fully understand the whole path and then put myself into the practice. Rather, what happens is, say, as I'm growing, as I'm continuing, you feel confident because I have only heard about mindfulness, for example, but now as a quality, I also have that mindfulness. I have only heard about impermanence, but now I myself understand about impermanence. I have heard about, say, Paticca dependent origination, but now I myself understand dependent origination. So likewise, it is not a mere theoretical kind of understanding. Now you practically also understand, yes, what Buddha has mentioned is correct. What Bhakti has mentioned is correct. So likewise, you can respect the teachers once you really thoroughly, practically understand that. So we need to step into that. So immediately we can't get the complete picture and then start practicing. Rather, we need to learn, we need to listen to the Dhamma. At the same time, we need to practically step into the practice. So as we are continuing, then we may be able to understand the Dhamma. We also feel further confident, further faith is arising. So the faith as a faculty is playing a critical role. So we need the faith. So that we need to understand. So sometimes I found in America, certain people are very intelligent, but they lack faith. That is something that we need to understand. So these have to be balanced. You know that in these faculties, 5 faculties, Saddha, Viriya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. Saddha is the faith, Viriya, effort, Sati in the middle, mindfulness, and then Samadhi, concentration, last one, wisdom, the Panya. These factors are to be balanced. Faith and wisdom are to be balanced. And effort and samadhi are to be balanced. Who is the one looking after all these? Who is telling you, okay, now your practice is going too much on saddha but less panya. Now you are too much effortful but your concentration is less. So who is the one monitoring it? Sati. The mindfulness in the middle, so it is capable of monitoring the whole system. So mindfulness is playing a really beautiful role in that. So it is capable of showing, so what are the levels of mind? So what are the levels of wisdom? What are the levels of faith currently available in one's mind? So accordingly, I have to do mind adjustments. It is not that I am just practicing blindly, merely using the effort. Time to time, I need to reflect back. So what is the state of mind right now? Is it too much energy, too much effort, too much concentration? Or I have lost the faith? Am I having enough faith? So the faith and wisdom are to be balanced. Mindfulness is the one who is monitoring the whole process. Effort and concentration are to be balanced. Just give a little example. Say, for example, say you are practicing mindfulness and you are using noting for that. Say, when you are practicing anapanasati, mindfulness on breathing, say when you recognize in breath, you are noting it as in. Out breath, out. In, out. In, out. It's simple practice. We are using labeling, noting as a technique. But at one occasion, you need to understand, okay, now mind is fairly calm, fairly relaxed. Now, noting is not necessary. This unnecessary effort I am making by labeling it, noting it, I better drop it. So time to time, I need to do this inner reflection to assess. So what are the things excess now? How the mind is growing now? Is the development happening properly? So likewise, if you do this kind of a proper measurement, then the mind adjustments, proper adjustments you can do. Mindfulness is playing a key role there to do this whole monitoring process. So likewise, all these 5 faculties are very critical, very important, and playing a very beautiful role, a kind of a coordinative role. And they are the ones further growing to the bala, the power of the spiritual powers. Saddha bala, Virya bala, Sati bala, Samadhi bala, Panya bala. The spiritual power of faith, spiritual power of effort, spiritual power of mindfulness, spiritual power of samadhi, the concentration, and spiritual power of wisdom. And next level is what we call the Bojjhanga, enlightenment factors. So once one reached the enlightenment factors, so he is fairly into the spiritual side. Actually, mindfulness we can use for many, many different tasks. But when one is fairly going through the practice, his practice is fairly aligned towards the attaining Nibbana. He's not into the other trivial things. Rather, he's more concerned about abandoning defilements, keeping the mind fairly purified, maintaining a very good conduct, moral conduct. So, Sila, Samadhi, Panya become fairly coordinated, and he's more concerned about the spiritual side when he's stepping into the enlightenment factors. Starting with again the mindfulness, Sati Sambodhya, enlightenment factor of mindfulness. Once enlightenment factor of mindfulness is there, then Buddha encouraged to develop vipassana. Say you further develop the investigative quality, what we call the Dhammavichaya Sambodhya. From that you go to the effort, so the Virya Sambodhya. From that you go to the Piti Sambodhya, the rapture. From that you go to Passaddhi, the tranquility Sambodhya. From that you go to Samadhi, the concentration of tranquility Sambodhya. And last community Sambodhya. So kind of the order is there at first. So very beautiful actually, in a way quite deep. Actually, what do they show? So you can see Visakha is targeting all that. She is not merely giving robes, she's not merely giving food, she's not merely giving whatever other requisites, but she has a kind of an idea. So how can I use all these for my own spiritual growth? Very, very important. So please take it as a message of the day. Say you all are here, it's really nice, really important, really nice to have you all here. But important thing as Buddhists is to have kind of a connection. All good activities, what we do, how to use that skillfully to our own spiritual growth. How to use it for further development of mindfulness, how to use it for further development of wisdom, how to use it for the development of piti, the passaddhi, tranquility, all that different qualities. So that is the important thing, and Visakha is targeting that. She has given a really beautiful example using that. So with that note, I'd like to conclude today's session. I spent few minutes if you have any questions. Okay, everybody understood? Okay, few minutes are there by the way. And the important thing, as I mentioned, so how beautifully Vishaka handled the whole situation. She approached the Buddha, asked eight books, and explained Buddha, justify why she is asking. And important thing, the last thing is how she is explaining how I am using all these good activities I am doing for my own spiritual growth. It's a really intelligent woman and it's giving us a very beautiful example. Okay. Thank you very much for your participation. Thank you very much for your attention.